will go through the wrong puberty, making permanent changes to me that I do not want.
Quote unquote, this gender affirming care could be investigated as child abuse.
The most important hormonal process in the development of children into adults is stopped.
Doctors are acting like they're God.
What we have going on here seems like a whistleblowing situation that Dr. Phil is going to talk about what's going on with these clinics and these children, okay? Now, you saw in the beginning of the clip, there was a child saying they will go through the wrong puberty. I mean, what the heck? How have we gotten to this point where this child really believes that they're going to go through the wrong puberty? The person who put that in that child's mind is horrible. And horrible is a understating type word. Like it is so monotone. It's just bland for really what I want to say. But, you know, obviously I can't get that crazy. And Dr. Phil is going to get into all of this and we're going to talk about it. Like, I think that it's great that that we're now talking about this, but man, we should have been talking about it earlier. Now, before I get any further, I want to talk about an accusation that was made about Dr. Phil, about him being a doctor. And I thought that was crazy that somebody even questioned it. So I'm going to explain to you how Dr. Phil is a doctor. So I don't understand why this needs explanation. Before I do, guys, if this is your first time here, please, and you like what you see, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video. You know, we talk about things here in a very realistic manner. We add in our psych assessment. We add in our medical assessment. I am myself a registered nurse. So a lot of this stuff, I see it really in face to face. I see a lot of this stuff, right? So we just bring another twist to it on this channel, and I enjoy making these videos. And of course, at the end of the day, I feel blessed to make these videos, and I thank God for it. And I thank God that you guys are watching. So please, again, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Now, to get back into it, Dr. Phil is a doctor. He just simply doesn't renew his license anymore. He doesn't have to. He's not seeing patients. Just that simple. Because I saw another YouTuber who does like true crime, and I was kind of like, I felt like that was kind of odd to me that she said, like, he's not even a doctor. He doesn't have a license. And I'm like, no, he's a doctor. Okay. He doesn't have to renew his license. Okay. What's the point? Right? This guy, I mean, really? He's not going to see patients anymore. So you just feel like he doesn't have to renew it.
That's exactly why our guest tonight, Dr. Anton Heim, says he blew the whistle on Texas Children's Hospital. Dr. Heim made...
Now, I'm sorry, guys. It is on fast speed. It has to be because, well, you know why.
major headlines after claiming the hospital was secretly performing these procedures on children as young as 11.
In March of 2022, the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, issued an opinion stating that, quote unquote, this gender affirming care could be investigated as child abuse. So in response to that, Texas Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital in the world, issued a statement publicly, unequivocally stating they were going to shut down the transgender program. And for me, this was a huge relief. But it was very soon after that I found out this was categorically untrue. Every kid who walks into that clinic is being told that they have to adopt this identity instead of telling these kids that they're perfect the way they are.
Well, Dr. Heim joins us today, and
so we want to thank Dr. Heim for his service. You know, we want to thank Dr. Heim for his honesty. It is not easy to blow the whistle on things like this. They will destroy your life. Okay. Not only will they won't just fire you. Okay. They will come for your license and everything around you. Okay. They will make sure the world knows that you were the horrible person who didn't want, you know, this quote, affirming care for these kids. Now, some of the stuff that he said, I had to like take out because I have to explain it in a more careful manner because of reasons. So what he was saying was, when this clinic said that they were going to get rid of the program for the kids that makes them adopt this substitution body expression syndrome in a permanent manner, they didn't. They probably diverted the program under the auspices of a different name, right? And they said they probably made it a psych program, except for they said that the solution for their psych issues is to take on substitution body expression syndrome. Somebody asked me, what is substitution body expression syndrome? It is a term that I'm coining, okay, that I use because I don't like speaking outside of reality. I don't, you know, this is some serious stuff. So To me, when you use the other word, like this one right here, you're lying to people because it never happens, no matter what you do to your body. Okay. No matter what you take off or put back on, or, however many drugs or whatever you take, this, you never complete this. So it is, to me, a way that people are expressing themselves because they need a substitution for their body, or, they don't like the way they look or whatever, they're having a dysmorphia. And so I call it substitution body expression syndrome, because you switched out your body to substitute for the actual biological body that you had, the anatomy that you had, and you got rid of some things, or you added on some hormones or whatever. But it's just substitution because you didn't do this. You never did this. Okay. So that's what I call it. Okay. So, because we have to speak in reality here. So let's just go ahead and get into this part.
I want to be very clear about one thing, because I have looked at the documentation that you provided, and it looks to me like you went to painstaking levels to protect the identity of the patients involved.
Yeah, so absolutely nothing was disclosed. I mean, it was important for me as a doctor. You have a responsibility to take care of patients. And you go into medicine because you want to do that. You want to protect patients from the diseases that affect them. But you never imagine that you have to protect these patients from the hospitals. And when I knew that the hospital was lying to the public about this program, I have a responsibility to do something about it. I have a responsibility as a surgeon and then as a person.
You spoke up because you said the hospital was lying to the public about what they were and were not doing, correct?
Yes, sir. In March 2022, they had said they would no longer provide hormone-related interventions for transgender kids because of the legal risks. And that is as unequivocal as it gets.
Did they stop?
So they did not. And the reason I knew that because I worked there.
So that's what they do. They take it now. So they take it out of the name of this, the T, right? A type of clinic. And now they just probably put it all under behavioral health. That's what we see is happening. There's like a merge, right? Because they'll say it's to save lives so that the person won't unalive themselves. I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to fully share, but it is to me, it's a crime to humanity. It's a lot of people like this. So let's see, we have an example story here.
Children could identify themselves as transgender, see a therapist for one visit, see our endocrinologist for one visit, and end up with hormones that would impact and change their bodies for their lifetime. These were identities that were still shifting and changing, but the treatments were irreversible and permanent. I saw a young person who was begging to have their breasts put back on after having surgery. We were encouraged not to make a big deal out of it, and definitely not to tell other families. I couldn't continue to be silent on it. The medical harms and trauma that I saw with these teens just took over my life. I was told I could no longer raise concerns or even use the phrase, I have concerns about a patient. I have no trust in this industry, medically transitioning minors anymore.
You shouldn't have had trust in it. But what do you mean anymore? You see why I can't with these people though? You see this whole thing about anymore. You see why I don't like people. People want to be heroes so bad that they go ahead and go with whatever just so they could be a hero. What do you mean anymore? It should not have been happening in the first place. This is the point, right? These people saying like, oh, they're doing permanent things, and they said they stopped and they didn't, and they said it would be reversible, but it's like, you don't need to listen. Okay. All right. And this is why I advocate for people to please ask questions in your life with anything that you're doing, anything that you have going on, because if it feels wrong, 9 times out of 10 it is. Go with your gut sometimes. Seriously, most of the time, really. Don't push it away. Ask questions. In what world is it irreversible to take off your arm? We're just going to say that, right? And so this lady said that she saw people saying, oh, I want them back on after they came on. Yeah. They only got seen by one psychiatrist and one endocrinologist. And then they go right into this. I have a problem with it now. Which means they're kids. People don't respect the body, okay? Your body is a holy temple. No matter what you believe, that's how you should think. Seriously. And it's not, again, I'm not preaching like, oh, you go to church. I'm not telling you that. What I'm saying is you should think of yourself as having your body as a holy temple. So you want to take care of it. Taking care of it also includes letting it develop the way it's supposed to before you start doing things and pulling things off and adding more and doing this. You know what I mean? Let the kids develop, because at least for the homeostasis of the body. But what they do is they stunt the growth and the development, right? Just so they can just save lives and be hero. Because I don't know what else makes these people do this. This is okay. So we already know that it is, right? So for me, at what point, you don't even have to be in medicine to know that. Like, we need to develop, right? The child's mind. How can a child make a decision like that, right? And what happens is, for the person who is dishonest, gaslighting, disingenuous, they'll say, no, the child's not making a decision. They see the psychiatrist and they see the doctor. It's not the child running the show. We run the show. No, you just signed the papers to say it's okay, but the child's making this decision because the child at 10 and 11 is saying that I'm in the wrong body. And then you say, well, why do you feel like that? Then they tell you why. And then you say, okay, we'll sign off on it. They feel like that right now. But they're going to change their mind. They will change their mind. Even if it's not 100% of the time, they will change their mind. Okay? I can bet that more likely they'll change their mind. So what are we doing? What are we doing? This is a problem. This is okay. Okay. Sorry, y'all, because it's just a lot when it comes to the kids. So I don't lend grace to adults who say, oh, now I have a problem with it. Why did you think this would be good ever? We don't let 11-year-olds drive cars. We don't let 11-year-olds drink alcohol, legally. We don't let 11-year-olds run a business. They're not developed in their mind to know exactly what they're doing. This is ridiculous that I have to explain this. So the fact that she ever thought this was a good idea makes me question her with a lot of things. And I'm not lending grace, because there are too many kids that have been, destroyed, and we don't have time for you to walk it back. Okay, we don't have time. Every time it's 5 years later, you're like, oh, whoopsie daisy, whoopsie daisy, whoopsie daisy. We can't keep whoopsie daisying. Okay, we are destroying a generation of children, and I'm not here for it. I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye.